These testimonials are representative of my or our experiences, but the exact results and experience will be unique and individual to each person. The information provided herein is not medical advice and is not intended to substitute for the advice of your personal physician or other healthcare providers. Welcome to The Beautiful Bag. This is your host, LeeAnne Hayden, cancer survivor, and more importantly, ostomy lifer. Each and every week, I'm going to be bringing a special guest or some inspiration for you and a few little stories along the way so that you can learn what life is like for us to be living in an ostomy and why we all think it's a beautiful bag. So listen in and let's get started.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's The Beautiful Bag podcast. I am your host, LeeAnne Hayden, and I am joined by my new friend, Matilda, who is in Sweden, guys. I've been bringing you guys some people like internationally. We're going international with this podcast more often than not, because I'm loving everybody's accents, by the way. So Matilda, we met on Instagram. She is from Sweden. She's had ulcerative colitis since probably when she was younger. I'm going to let her tell her story, but she has had an ileostomy since 2012. So you've got a little bit of time here. You've had your ileostomy for a while, so you've lived your life. But welcome to the show, Matilda.
Thank you so much. I'm so thrilled to be here and be talking to you.
I'm so happy
internationally.
To have you.
That's important.
Exactly. Look what we can do now.
Yes.
And guys, we were talking about like Italy, and we were talking about how easy things are. We had a whole conversation ahead of time, but we're going to get into this now. You've had your ileostomy since 2012, so that's like 10 years now.
Yes, I'm coming up to my 10th anniversary, and I'm so excited. Yay! In September, we're gonna celebrate in some way.
I love it. And I love that you want to celebrate it. So why do you want to celebrate it? Like, why is it such a big, a beautiful thing?
Because it's crazy amount of time, 10 years with an ileostomy. Because from the beginning, it was said that I would have it for 2 years. And back then it felt like that was forever, like 2 years. How am I gonna do this? And now, like, my years has literally flown by, and I mean, my bag, which I'm calling Guna, it's a Swedish name. It's his birthday, so of course I had to celebrate it.
I love it. It's funny is I celebrate mine's Ivan, and I celebrate Ivan's birthday every year as well. And like, I believe it was our second chance at life, so we should be celebrating. Yes,
of course. I mean, when you look back at that day, like the surgery day, of course, it's a bit traumatic, but for every year from that, it feels like it's an extra year of life, because that point changed my life from my sickness. And maybe I should like get you through it, or how do you want to do it? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. No, definitely. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So let's tell the story.
As you said, I have my diagnosis is ulcerative colitis, and I got it when I was 15 years old. And back then, in my family, we're more than one having this problem with our tummies, and both with Crohn's and ulcerative. So we knew pretty fast that it was something like that. And then it was not, the flares comes and that goes with ulcerative. The inflammation like is active or not active, and then you need more medication or not, and so on. And that worked pretty fine for not really 2 years, but almost, until I got really bad and nothing, like no medication helped. And I had high fever, couldn't eat anything, and I lived on the hospital. So in the hospital, they really like focused and tried everything at once, and I was without food totally, like, only through the drips. What do you call it? Drip.
Oh, the drip. The drip food. Yep.
Yeah, that's disgusting. And then nothing. This didn't show any tendencies to like turn around, and then it was emergency surgery on a Saturday, and they removed my whole colon. And when I woke up from that, I had an ileostomy, but also the fever was gone. So it was literally, the sickness was taken out of my body. And that's my fast forward story, why I got an ileostomy.
Well, I mean, that must have felt so amazing when it was like the sickness was just taken from your body. How did you feel?
Yeah. At that time, it was like, you know, when you get this diagnosis, my doctors always pictured it like a stoma is the last way out. You don't want to end up there, but there's always that option if it doesn't work out the way we want. And of course, you don't want to do a surgery if not needed. So I see why they're talking like that, but it's really the end station in that period. But when we were there, and I was in school had like start running, and still I just want to get out and be healthy. So when we did that surgery, and that actually made something better, even if my body was extremely weak, and to recover from an open tummy surgery, it's a process, but at least it felt like now we're going in the right direction. So it wasn't the end station for me. It was like the new first station to actually be able to get my life back. Because my classmates were in school, and I was like, I'm coming. I'm just getting a bag.
I know. I'm just in a bag. I love how you said that. I'm coming. I'm just in a bag. I just want my life back, because a lot of people talk about that. They talk about that, like with colitis and Crohn's, and it's debilitating. You know, it's you're laying in bed, and sometimes you just can't get up, and you can't focus, and you can't function, and all you're doing is worrying about what the next spasm is. Yep, and the pain. I mean, I've heard that so many times from so many people. So now you're in your bag, and you're back in school, and I mean, you're living your life. I mean, if you go to your Instagram page, I'm on your Instagram page right now. I'm like, look at you. You're always like on a beach. What's up with that? You're always on the beach in a bikini, and I love it.
I've been to a lot of beaches, but this like period of Corona has stopped me from the beaches because Sweden is cold. So like I'm really, really excited to be able to travel again, to see like new places, new beaches. Yeah, I love warmer weather. That's pretty easy to say.
You love warmer weather, but you live in Sweden. Okay.
Yes, we have a problem. But I after I was in I was in high school back when I was 17. So after graduation, I went for backpacking because I wanted to do what I should do with or without a bag. So I had 1 year off from high school until uni, and went backpacking, and there was my like the first time of really many beaches.
I love that. Now let's talk about that, because there are so many people. So you get your bag, you're healthy, you're in between, you know, graduation and university, and you're like, I'm going to go backpacking. That would probably frighten most people who are in an ostomy.
Yeah.
Like, how do I go backpacking? And like, how do you carry all the bags and everything you need? And like, so what was that year like? Like, talk about that.
Well, I was only away for 3 months, but that's still a lot of luggage and bags for everyone having a stoma. And yes, there is logistics to plan to be able to do it. Of course, it's not like I'm going tomorrow, but I actually checked with my stoma nurse, and like, is this like a crazy idea, or is it possible to do it? And well, I didn't have so much clothes with me because the stoma bags, they take more place in my bag, because I literally had a backpack, but a big backpack. So I had very much extra supplies too, because when you are swimming and in warmer climate, you can be needing changes more often. So I had a lot with me, and I always had for 2 weeks in my hand luggage in case of the big backpack would go away during the flights.
Yep.
And I also had, I think, around 2 weeks in my friend's backpack. So I like had the portions out in case of something happens.
Yep. Very smart.
For 2 weeks, then you should be able to get some supplies from either a local hospital or from Sweden, in my case, sent down. And yeah, that was absolutely fine. I mean, I wanted to go.
So where did you go?
I went.
Where did you go? What did you see? Where'd you go?
We went. Yeah, we actually did around the globe. So we started with a short stop in the US, and just for like a few days, because it says we're going to the other side of the earth. It doesn't matter which way we go from Sweden. So we had a few days in California, LA, and then we went to Fiji, New Zealand, Australia, Hong Kong, and then back.
Oh,
so that was a pretty good route.
Fun. That's a great route. All right, I'm adding that to my list.
Do that. Like but it's also so long time ago now. It was on my second year with the Stoma, and as we said, I'm almost up to 10. So it feels like so long time ago. But it's that I really want to lift it. Like if you want to go on vacation or a longer vacation, like a backpacking trip, it is possible. That is important. It is possible. Just plan.
Yeah, you have to plan. So that's the one thing. I remember I went on a cruise right before COVID hit. I was going on a cruise ship, and I got off the plane and realized I forgot to pack any supplies. I had my one extra bag in my purse. Like that was it. Like that, I forgot everything. So I'm Amazon. We had one. Thank goodness we had one night that we were staying in Florida, so I could go Amazon overnight and got some more bags. Like
Also, because you can buy them online.
You can buy them online. You can buy them on Amazon. And somebody said you could even go to a hospital. That's local
good, because we are not that flexible in Sweden. So I can't go to a pharmacy here or to get like bags. I can't.
Yeah,
I have to have my prescription.
Here. Yeah, you can go to a hospital here and say, "Listen, here's my situation."
That's good.
And they would get you. So put that on your list for when you come back to the US. So you're backpacking. You've had 10 years. You travel all over. What are some of the things that you love to do that you're out there doing?
Oh, I love to go to the beach. I love to be like, I love to travel to see different things. And during these years, I also lived abroad 2 times, not for so long periods, but New York for 3 months and Singapore for like a semester. So it's for 5 months. And that also is how, I learned how my stoma acts in different climates for a longer period, because New York is colder during the winter season. But that's still like, I didn't go in your system, so I still brought my bags. So I had 2 luggages and one filled with bags. And during the time, the supplies gets less, and I can buy more clothes. It's good. I can fill it up on the way back.
Oh, that's a great idea. All right, now I know I can do that when I go to Italy in a couple of weeks. Like now I'm like, I don't have to worry about an extra bag or extra piece of luggage. Exactly. I'm gonna have room.
Yeah. So use more bags, and that will be great. You will add space. That's actually a good point for stoma travelers. There's always more room on the way back
definitely
than from the beginning. But also then for Singapore, that's a warmer climate, and we had a pool in our condo. So being in the pool every day, that affects how the bag acts. And but everything has been working great. I mean, sometimes you need to change an extra time, but it hasn't been any worries for flight security. From Singapore, we tried different Asia, the routes. It's Bali, Vietnam, Thailand, everything. So I don't know what you asked me, but what I love to travel. That's my easy answer.
I think
I think the stoma has been, well, if I didn't get my stoma, I will be just ulcerative colitis, then I would be more worried about traveling, because you never know if you're sick tomorrow with ulcerative colitis, if there will be a flare from the inflammation. So the stoma has actually made me more secure to travel. That I know as long as I got my bags and nothing crazy happens, then I'm all good. So I feel like I have been in control over traveling.
Which you hadn't been, which you, like you said, you couldn't be before. Now, you're always in a bikini, and I love that. I love that. There's so many people that would rather hide than be out there in a bikini with their stoma bag. Where did you find that confidence from? Where does that come from?
I actually got that question this week on Instagram, and I don't really know if I have a good answer to it, because I just did it from the beginning. Like, it hasn't been a question for me, even if, yes, everyone, like literally everyone looks at you or looks at the bag. And that's important to know if you're going to the beach for the first time. Yes, there will be eyes on you. But for me, it's important to know, or that people know, that they are not looking because something is disgusting. They are looking because they haven't seen it before. I mean, I have had my stoma for 10 years, and I haven't met anyone or seen anyone at the beach with a stoma. So of course people are looking, because we don't see it. It's under our clothes. Nobody sees that we have a stoma. And that encouraged me to actually be one of them showing it, because I love to swim, and I'm not going to stop swimming just because someone looks at it. But if you feel that it is like uncomfortable that everyone is looking at you, then you can just take a towel, or you can take a sweater or something just over you, and then you will be totally anonymous. And I usually compare it to being a celebrity. They can't hide, so we can choose to be famous when we're showing our bags at the beach. But if we don't feel for it anymore, then just cover it, and nobody will care.
Nobody, and I love that you said that. Nobody cares, and they're looking at you not because it's disgusting, but because they're curious. They don't know. Most people don't see it.
Exactly, and that's why it's so important that we are showing it on Instagram, on the beach, in real life, to actually give some knowledge about what is it, and breaking the taboo. That's my like core missions.
I'm with you on that one. Breaking the stigma around it is everything that I want to talk about. There's a lot of us out on Instagram. And I think we're talking about it loudly on there because it is a photo, video type of a platform. So you can see it more. You can post your pictures. You can do all those things. So, Matilda, you've been doing so many amazing things. I love that you love to travel. Like, you're living your life. What are a couple, I usually ask the one question, like, what is the one thing you would want to leave the listeners with? Like, what is the one thing that you think that they need to know?
Well, it depends on which stage you are. Like, if you're getting a stoma, if you had a stoma, different. But the important thing for me is, like, if there is something you want to do, like with or without your stoma, try it with your stoma, and try it in your way. And you don't have to go all in at the first time. You don't have to go backpacking the first thing you do. Like, try to just sleep away from home. I have seen everything since I got my stoma. Like, I'm doing it for the first time. I went swimming for the first time. I went traveling for the first time. I went to school for the first time. Like, everything for the first time with the stoma. And try that. And if that isn't something for you, then don't do it, or adjust it to the next time. It's really important for me to, like, don't let the stoma stop you from doing what you want to do in life. Whether it's work or school, travel, anything. Or like, you can do everything for the first time.
You can. And you know what I love? I love that you're saying that, because you can do everything for the first time, and you actually can remember it as well. As if like some of the first times that you did before, you couldn't remember that because you were so little, or it's just not a memory that you remember. So it's almost, again, getting a second chance at life and doing it all over again. So
like,
I love
like
that.
walking. You don't remember when you started walking, but like the first time I got up and started walking after my surgery, it began in the hospital. Like first time eating this. Also a lot with food. Try food, but try smaller amounts. See how your tummy reacts, and like try it on. So it's a lot of trying.
It's a lot of trying, and we're all so different. We're all so individual and so different that some foods that work for me might not work for you. And just like working out, walking, going to the beach, wearing a bikini or a one piece, like whatever it is that you choose to do in the moment. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. I've loved having you here, and I've loved having you share your story. Now, if our listeners want to find you because they're like, I want to hear her accent, I want to follow her, I want to be inspired by her, where is the best place for them to go?
It is absolutely Instagram. And it's Matilda Ahdrian, but my last name is spelled AHD. Confusing.
AHD. I will make sure to put it in the show notes.
Yeah, that's the easiest way. But I'm on Instagram, and that's like my most active place. Totally.
Good. I love it. Go ahead.
No, I'm just so thrilled to be talking to you.
I love it. I love that we've had this conversation. I want to thank you so much for being here with us this week. I know our listeners are going to love this story, and you're going to inspire them to be like, I'm going backpacking, and I want to travel the world, and I want to go see things, and I want to go and do that. So thank you so much for being here with us this week.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. If you enjoyed this podcast, get the behind the scenes at leeannehayden.com/ostomy updates. And also, if you found this episode encouraging, please screenshot it and share it on Instagram. And don't forget to tag me and also the person who was on the episode with me. I occasionally will do special gifts for anyone who does do a screenshot and share it on Instagram or in your stories. Also, lastly, please go to Apple or Google, rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast to keep up with them every single week. I enjoy you guys. Thank you so much for being here.